98.9% of you are not subscribed. Enter and subscribe because of the amount of 1,000 subscribers I will post a very special video for you. In the year 2380, the galaxy was a vast and interconnected web of civilizations, each with its own culture, technology, and ambitions. Among these civilizations, none was more feared than the Carnath Empire. Known for their ruthless expansion and technological superiority, the Carnath had terrorized countless worlds, subjugating entire species and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The United Earth Federation, UEF, a coalition of human-inhabited worlds, had long been aware of the Carnath's reputation. Earth, the cradle of humanity, had remained relatively untouched by the galaxy's conflicts, protected by its distance and the formidable defenses of the UEF. However, this isolation was not to last. Captain David Kane of the UEF's Elite Special Forces Unit, Echo Squad, was stationed on the frontier world of Nova Terra when the first signs of the Carnath invasion began to appear. Nova Terra was a thriving colony, its people enjoying a period of peace and prosperity. Kane, a seasoned soldier with a reputation for his strategic brilliance and unyielding resolve, found the routine patrols and training exercises to be a welcome respite from the front lines. One evening, as the twin suns of Nova Terra set, casting a warm glow over the colony, an urgent transmission crackled over the comms. Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, Echo Squad's communications officer, intercepted the message. "Captain Kane, we've got an incoming transmission from Earth. It's marked urgent," she said, her voice tinged with concern. Kane's brow furrowed as he moved to the communication console. "Patch it through, Lieutenant." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the stern face of Admiral Jonathan Hayes, the UEF's top military commander and Sarah's father. His expression was grave. "David, we have a situation," the Admiral began without preamble. "We've detected a massive Carnath fleet on an intercept course with Earth. They're moving fast, and their intentions are clear. This is an invasion." Kane's heart sank. The Carnath had finally set their sights on Earth. "Understood, sir. What's our plan of action?" "We're mobilizing all available forces to defend Earth," Admiral Hayes replied. "Echo Squad is to return to Earth immediately. Your expertise will be crucial in the coming battle." Kane nodded. "We're on our way. We'll be ready." As the transmission ended, Kane turned to his team. "You heard the Admiral. We're heading home. Prepare for immediate departure." Echo Squad moved with practiced efficiency, gathering their gear and boarding their transport ship. The journey to Earth was tense, the atmosphere in the cabin thick with anticipation. Each member of the squad understood the gravity of the situation. They were heading into a battle that would determine the fate of their home world. Upon arrival, the scale of the Carnath threat became evident. The skies above Earth were filled with UEF warships, their sleek designs a stark contrast to the ominous bulk of the Carnath vessels. The space around Earth was a chaotic battlefield, with explosions and laser fire illuminating the darkness. Echo Squad was immediately deployed to the ground, tasked with defending key strategic points around the UEF command center in New Avalon, Earth's capital city. As they touched down, the city was already under siege, with Carnath soldiers engaging UEF forces in brutal urban warfare. Kane led his team through the war-torn streets, their objective clear: protect the command center at all costs. They moved swiftly, engaging Carnath troops and providing support to beleaguered UEF units. The fighting was intense, each corner and alleyway a potential ambush site. At the command center, Admiral Hayes briefed Kane and his team. "The Carnath are targeting our defense grid. If they take it down, they'll have full access to the city and its critical infrastructure. We need to hold them off and buy time for our engineers to reinforce the grid." Kane nodded. "We'll hold the line, sir." Echo Squad positioned themselves at the front lines, their advanced weaponry and combat skills proving invaluable. The Carnath forces were relentless, their bio-armor making them formidable opponents. But Echo Squad's determination and tactical acumen kept them in the fight. Amidst the chaos, Kane spotted a Carnath officer orchestrating the assault. Recognizing an opportunity to disrupt their command structure, he signaled to his team. We take out that officer. We can slow their advance. Sarah, provide cover fire. Mark, flank them from the right. Let's move. The coordinated attack was swift and decisive. Sarah's precision shots pinned down the Carnath soldiers, while Mark's flanking maneuver caught them off guard. Kane engaged the officer directly, their combat a brutal dance of skill and strength. With a final, decisive strike, Kane brought the officer down. The loss of their leader caused confusion among the Carnath troops, and Echo Squad pressed their advantage, driving the invaders back. As the immediate threat subsided, Kane received a transmission from Admiral Hayes. "Excellent work, Echo Squad. The defense grid is holding, but the battle is far from over. We've detected a large Carnath landing force approaching from the north. We need you to intercept them before they reach the city." Kane acknowledged the order. "We're on it, sir." The team moved quickly, navigating the devastated landscape to intercept the incoming Carnath force. As they approached, they saw the sheer scale of the enemy. Hundreds of Carnath soldiers, supported by armored vehicles and aerial drones, advanced with terrifying precision. Echo Squad set up a defensive position, using the terrain to their advantage. "We hold this line," Kane declared, "no matter what." The ensuing battle was a test of endurance and resolve. The Carnath forces were relentless, their superior numbers threatening to overwhelm Echo Squad. But the team fought with unmatched determination, their bond and training allowing them to hold the line against the seemingly endless tide. As the hours passed, the battle raged on. Exhaustion began to set in, but Kane's leadership and the squad's unbreakable spirit kept them fighting. Just as the situation seemed dire, reinforcements arrived. UEF troops, bolstered by heavy armor and air support, joined the fray, turning the tide in humanity's favor. With the combined strength of Echo Squad and the UEF reinforcements, the Carnath landing force was finally repelled. The battle had been won, but the cost was high. The city lay in ruins, and countless lives had been lost. In the aftermath, as the dust settled, Kane and his team regrouped. Admiral Hayes arrived, his expression a mixture of relief and sorrow. "You did it, David. You held the line." Kane nodded, his face grim. "But at a great cost. We need to ensure this never happens again." Hayes placed a hand on Kane's shoulder. "Agreed. And that's why we need you and Echo Squad to lead the charge. We must take the fight to the Carnath and end this threat once and for all." As the team prepared for the next phase of their mission, Aloria, who had been coordinating efforts with the UEF, approached Kane. Her eyes held a mix of gratitude and determination. "Captain Kane, your bravery and leadership have inspired us all. The Zolorian Empire stands with you. Together we will defeat the Carnath and secure a future of peace and cooperation." Kane met her gaze, a sense of unity and purpose washing over him. "Thank you, Princess. Together, we will prevail." The battle for Earth had ended in a hard-won victory, but the war against the Carnath Empire was far from over. The destruction wrought by the invasion had united the United Earth Federation, UEF, and its allies in a way that no diplomatic effort ever could. The urgency of their situation was clear. To ensure the survival of their worlds, they had to take the fight to the Carnath. Captain David Kane and Echo Squad were at the center of these efforts. Their bravery and skill had earned them the respect and admiration of soldiers and civilians alike. Now, they faced the daunting task of planning the next phase of the war. In the aftermath of the battle, the UEF command center in New Avalon was a hive of activity. Military leaders, scientists, and diplomats from various allied species gathered to discuss strategy and share intelligence. The atmosphere was tense but resolute, a stark contrast to the chaos of the recent conflict. Admiral Jonathan Hayes stood at the head of the War Council, his presence commanding attention. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unique opportunity before us. The Carnath have shown their hand, and now it's our turn to strike back. Our objective is clear. Take the fight to them and dismantle their war machine." Princess Aloria, representing the Zolorian Empire, stepped forward. Her poise and determination were evident as she addressed the council. "The Carnath's strength lies in their organization and advanced technology. But we have something they do not: unity. By combining our forces and resources, we can outmaneuver and outfight them. Kane, standing beside Aloria, added, "We've identified key targets within Carnath space, shipyards, supply depots, and command centers. Striking these will cripple their ability to wage war. Echo Squad will lead the vanguard in these operations." The Council discussed the logistics of the campaign, coordinating the deployment of fleets and ground forces. The UEF's advanced reconnaissance satellites and the Zolorian's superior stealth technology would play crucial roles in gathering intelligence and launching surprise attacks. As the meeting progressed, the Council members reviewed detailed holographic maps and strategic projections. The plan was ambitious and fraught with risks, but it was their best chance to turn the tide of the war. Later that evening, Kane and Aloria found a moment of respite in the command center's observation deck. The city below was a patchwork of recovery efforts, the scars of battle still fresh. Despite the destruction, there was an air of determination and hope. Kane turned to Aloria, his expression thoughtful. "We're asking a lot of our people. This war has already cost so much." Aloria nodded, her gaze steady. "It has. But we fight for something greater than ourselves. For the future of our worlds, our children. For peace." Their conversation was interrupted by Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, who approached with a sense of urgency. "Captain Princess, we've received new intelligence. A high-ranking Carnath defector has offered to meet with us. They claim to have valuable information about the Carnath's plans and weaknesses." Kane's interest was piqued. "Where and when?" "On the moon of Erebus, in the Hades system. The meeting is set for tomorrow," Sarah replied. Kane exchanged a glance with Aloria. "This could be a trap, but it's an opportunity we can't pass up. We need to vet this defector and secure whatever information they have." The next day, Echo Squad and a small contingent of Zolorian operatives traveled to Erebus. The moon was a desolate place, its surface scarred by ancient impacts and tectonic activity. The meeting point was a secluded outpost, hidden within a network of caves. As they approached the rendezvous, Kane and Aloria remained on high alert. The area was quiet, almost eerily so, with only the soft hum of their equipment breaking the silence. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. The defector was a Carnath officer, their appearance imposing yet weary. They raised their hands in a gesture of peace. "I am Commander Thalrak, formerly of the Carnath Empire. I come seeking asylum and to aid your cause." Kane's eyes narrowed as he studied Thalrak. "Why defect now? What's changed?" Thalrak's expression was one of resignation. "The Carnath Empire is not invincible. Their leadership is fractured, and their reliance on fear and control is their greatest weakness. I have seen the suffering they cause, and I can no longer be part of it. I bring information that can help you strike at the heart of their power." Aloria stepped forward, her voice firm but inquisitive. "What kind of information?" Thalrak produced a data chip. Detailed schematics of their primary command center located on Carna Prime. It is heavily fortified, but with the right strategy it can be breached. Additionally, I have information on their fleet movements and supply lines. Kane and Aloria exchanged a look of cautious optimism. If Thalrak's information was accurate, it could be the key to turning the tide of the war. "Why should we trust you?" Kane asked, his tone measured. Thalrak's eyes reflected a deep sadness. "Because I seek redemption for the horrors I've been part of, and because I believe that only by helping you can I find peace." After a thorough vetting process, Thalrak's information was verified. The details were precise, and the intelligence provided a significant strategic advantage. With this new information, the War Council reconvened to plan the assault on Carnath Prime. Admiral Hayes addressed the gathered leaders. "We have a unique opportunity to strike a decisive blow. Carnath Prime is their seat of power. If we can take it, we can disrupt their entire command structure." The plan was ambitious, a coordinated strike involving multiple fleets and specialized ground units. Echo Squad, with Thalrak's guidance, would lead the assault on the command center. As preparations intensified, the sense of urgency grew. The fate of countless worlds hung in the balance, and the upcoming battle would determine the course of the war. On the eve of the assault, Kane and Aloria found themselves once again on the observation deck, looking out over the recovering city. The weight of their responsibilities was heavy, but their resolve was unwavering. "We're ready," Kane said quietly. "We've trained for this moment." Aloria nodded, her expression resolute. "Together we will succeed. For our people, for our future." The assault on Carna Prime began with a coordinated strike from multiple angles. The UEF and Zolorian fleets engaged the Carnath Armada, their combined firepower creating a pathway for the ground forces to land. Echo Squad, along with Thalrak, led the charge. The approach to the command center was heavily defended, but the element of surprise and Thalrak's insider knowledge gave them an edge. The battle was fierce and chaotic. The Carnath defenders fought with a desperate ferocity, knowing that the fall of their command center would be a devastating blow. Kane and his team moved with precision, their training and camaraderie guiding them through the intense firefight. As they breached the outer defenses and entered the command center, the true scale of the Carnath's technological prowess became apparent. Advanced security systems and automated defenses challenged their every step. Thalrak proved invaluable, guiding them through the complex and disabling critical systems. "This way," he urged, leading them toward the central control room. In the final confrontation, Kane and Aloria faced the Carnath Supreme Commander, Lord Korath. The confrontation was intense, a clash of ideals and wills as much as a physical battle. "You dare to challenge the Carnath Empire?" Korath sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "You are but insects to be crushed under our heel." Kane's resolve hardened. "We fight for freedom, for the right to determine our own fate. Your reign of terror ends here." The battle was brutal, but Echo Squad's determination and teamwork proved decisive. With a final coordinated effort, they brought Korath down and secured the command center. As the dust settled, the impact of their victory began to sink in. The fall of Carnath Prime sent shockwaves through the Carnath Empire, disrupting their command structure and sowing chaos among their forces. Back on Earth, the victory was celebrated with a mixture of relief and solemn reflection. The cost had been high, but the tide of the war had turned. Admiral Hayes addressed a gathering of UEF and Zolorian leaders, his voice filled with pride and hope. "Today we have struck a decisive blow against tyranny. Our unity and determination have proven that we are stronger together. This is the beginning of the end for the Carnath Empire." Kane and Aloria stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and forged an unbreakable bond. Their partnership had not only saved their people, but had also set the stage for a lasting peace. "We did it," Aloria said softly, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did," Kane replied, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. "And this is just the beginning." The story of Captain David Kane and Princess Aloria was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Carnath Empire was far from over, but the fight for a better future continued. The fall of Carnath Prime had sent ripples throughout the galaxy. The once mighty Carnath Empire was now reeling from the loss of its command center and the death of its supreme commander, Lord Korath. The United Earth Federation, UEF, and the Zolorian Empire, emboldened by their victory, prepared for the final phase of the war. Despite the decisive blow dealt to the Carnath, Captain David Kane and Princess Aloria knew the fight was far from over. The remnants of the Carnath leadership had retreated to fortified positions across their empire, rallying their forces for a desperate counterattack. The path to lasting peace would be fraught with danger and sacrifice. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was a mix of cautious optimism and steely determination. The War Council, comprised of UEF and Zolorian leaders, gathered to plan the next steps. Admiral Jonathan Hayes addressed the assembly, his voice carrying the weight of their collective resolve. "Ladies and gentlemen, our victory on Carnath Prime has given us a significant advantage, but the Carnath are far from defeated. Their remaining forces are concentrated in the Helios Cluster, a region known for its strategic importance and formidable defenses. Our objective is to dismantle their remaining strongholds and bring an end to their reign of terror." Princess Aloria stepped forward, her presence commanding respect. We must strike swiftly and decisively. The Carnath's strength lies in their ability to control and intimidate. If we can liberate the Helios cluster, we can cripple their capacity to wage war. Kane, standing beside Aloria, added, Echo Squad will lead the ground assault. We'll target key installations and disrupt their command structure. Our success depends on coordination and the element of surprise. The Council approved the plan, and preparations began immediately. The UEF and Zalorian fleets mobilized, their ships converging on the Helios cluster. The scale of the operation was unprecedented, a testament to the unity and determination of their alliance. As Echo Squad prepared for the mission, Kane gathered his team for a final briefing. The stakes were higher than ever, but their resolve was unshakable. We've faced the Carnath before, and we've come out on top, Kane said, his voice firm. This time we're going to finish the job. Stick to the plan, watch each other's backs, and remember what we're fighting for. Let's end this. The journey to the Helios cluster was tense, the anticipation of the coming battle palpable. As they approached the enemy stronghold, the enormity of their task became clear. The Carnath defenses were formidable, their ships and ground installations bristling with weaponry. The assault began with a coordinated strike from the combined UEF and Zalorian fleets. Advanced fighters and bombers targeted key installations, while ground forces prepared for a series of strategic landings. The battle was fierce, each side fighting with everything they had. Echo Squad's mission was to infiltrate the primary command bunker, a heavily fortified structure buried deep within the Carnath's main base. With Thalrak's guidance, they navigated the treacherous terrain, avoiding detection and neutralizing patrols. As they approached the bunker, the scale of the Carnath's defenses became apparent. Automated turrets, minefields, and heavily armed guards blocked their path. But Echo Squad moved with precision, using their advanced training and Thalrak's insider knowledge to outmaneuver the defenses. Inside the bunker, the team faced intense resistance. The corridors were a maze of security systems and traps, each step a potential hazard. But Kane's leadership and the squad's unbreakable camaraderie guided them through the dangers. Finally, they reached the central control room, where the remaining Carnath leadership was gathered. The confrontation was inevitable. The Carnath officers, desperate and cornered, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. The battle was intense and brutal. Kane and Aloria fought side by side, their skills complementing each other as they faced the Carnath's elite guards. Thalrak proved invaluable, disabling security systems and providing critical support. In the end, Echo Squad's determination and strategic brilliance prevailed. The Carnath officers were defeated, their command structure dismantled. The fall of the Helios cluster marked the end of the Carnath's ability to wage war. As the dust settled, Kane and Aloria stood amidst the ruins of the command center. The realization of their victory began to sink in, a mix of relief and exhaustion washing over them. "We did it," Aloria said, her voice filled with emotion. "We've won." Kane nodded, his expression a mixture of pride and solemnity. "Yes, but at a great cost. We must honor those who fought and died for this victory." Back on Earth, the news of their triumph was met with celebrations and a renewed sense of hope. The war against the Carnath Empire was finally over. The galaxy could begin the process of healing and rebuilding. Admiral Hayes addressed a gathering of UEF and Zalorian leaders, his voice filled with pride and determination. "Today, we have achieved a great victory. The Carnath Empire's reign of terror has come to an end. Our unity and resolve have proven that we are stronger together. Let this be the foundation for a future of peace and cooperation." Princess Aloria echoed his sentiments. "The bravery and sacrifice of our soldiers have paved the way for a new era. We must honor their legacy by working together to build a future where all can thrive." Kane and Aloria stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and forged an unbreakable bond. Their partnership had not only saved their people, but had also set the stage for a lasting peace. "We did it," Aloria said softly, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did," Kane replied, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. "And this is just the beginning." The story of Captain David Kane and Princess Aloria was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Carnath Empire was over, but the fight for a better future continued. Thus ended the third chapter of their journey, with new challenges, alliances, and discoveries awaiting them in the chapters to come. The end.